What is up, guys? So today I'm here with a review of Google+. Now this is basically Google's answer to Facebook. It is a fully integrated social network, and it's actually pretty cool. Now I will say right up front, this is still in beta, so there are definitely things that they need to work out, lots of bugs and whatnot, but I'm not really going to hold that against them. Of course, this is still fairly new, but the core of it is really solid. Let me give you guys a little overview of it. So as you guys can see here, this is kind of the main page. So you guys can see there's a lot of stuff. For example, you can do Hangouts and all that kind of stuff. But let me kind of explain it to you one by one. So the first thing is your stream. Now this is basically like your wall. So you can post status updates or whatever. So if I can say this is a status, if I can spell it right. So yeah, you can do that. You can also add photos. You can add videos, links, and locations. So very similar to Facebook. And another thing is you can actually add exactly who you want to share it with. So by default, it'll show both friends. But if I click Add More People, you can add people from different circles, and I'll explain what circles are in just a little bit. But you can customize exactly who these statuses go out to, or you can just make it public, which works pretty well. So if I want to just click that, it'll pop up. And one thing I have noticed is that it is very, very cool as far as how this works. When you post a status, it will automatically update. Like for example, if like one of your friends is on, it will show up absolutely immediately. I was on a call with somebody and they literally saw it within a second. It was very, very impressive. So moving down here, you guys can see some of the things. So I'll just be using Phil's example, going to bed Google, which I don't agree with Google at all. But you guys can see here some of the things. So I can go view his profile or just hover over it and see that we're friends. And if I wanted to, I could change his circle or change him in my circle or whatever. I can also +1, which is basically like thumbs up on Facebook. Very simple, but not a big deal. You can also comment and share. And as you guys can see here, I've already done that. So there are a couple other things. So if I scroll down here, for example, this is what a video looks like if someone shares it. Here's a photo. In fact, I'll take this photo for an example. The photos are actually not bad. Now the problem is it's not the best browser in the world. But if I wanted to, I can add a photo here. I can add a tag, or I can actually go ahead and view the photo details. Which you guys can see here is taken with an iPhone 4. All the kinds of information, which is actually really pretty handy. So let's get out of this. So this is generally how the wall works. But let me give you guys a little example of circles. Now circles are kind of like creating groups of people that you want. So for example, you can have groups for friends. So if let's say I want to just share something with my friends, I can have something that goes specifically to family, just general people, acquaintances, people I'm following. It's a little bit complicated, but you can pretty much do whatever you want. So let me actually create a new circle here. So taking Phil's example, I'm going to call it Goople. I'm never actually going to use that word again, but so here we go. So this is a new one. So let's say I want to add a couple people, so I'll add Nick and I'll add Phil. So as you guys can see here now, if I go ahead and take a look at this, now I can just send an update to these guys or make sure they see something specific or not. And if I want, I can just delete the circle too. And it's kind of got some cool animations that'll kind of roll off the screen, which is, I think it's kind of neat. Moving on, there's also a very cool feature called Sparks. Now this is almost like an RSS feed for the internet. So for example, if I want to add something, I've already actually added a couple Sparks. So for example, I can see anything about Nikon, I can see anything about YouTube, or if I will go into Sparks, I can add something like, I don't know, I could add iPhone. Or iPhone 5 rather. I can add a Spark, it'll automatically show all the kinds of fake information that's definitely not real about the iPhone 5s. Now if you guys look up at the top of the screen, you'll find that the new dark title bar is actually used. So if you guys don't have Google+, you'll probably notice that on google.com there's now a black bar as opposed to the standard looking one. Well, there is a reason for this. So for example, if I wanted to share if I was on my Gmail, I could just click on this and it's across pretty much all Google things. So I could just click on this and send an update straight from pretty much any website. It's almost like having an extension connected into your browser. In addition, you can also take a look at notifications, so if anybody +1s your post or anything like that, you can definitely view it from there. Now one of the last things I do want to show you guys, and I actually won't give you a full demo in this video, is Hangouts. Now Hangouts is very similar to allowing you to use like Skype video chat on your browser rather. But again, I don't want to get too in depth into that. I've already made a separate video on that, so if you guys are interested in that, definitely go ahead and be sure to hit the annotation on the screen right now. Anyway guys, that's it for my review of Google+. So there are definitely some pros and cons. I mean, on the really good side, I love Hangouts, absolutely fantastic feature. Circles works really nicely. I like having really fine-grained control with who I share what with and everything. And also, if you're already big into Google, if you already have Gmail and Android, and if you're really invested in the Google ecosystem, then it's going to be really simple for you to get up and running very simply and easily with Google+. On the other hand, though, it's not quite perfect. So for example, it's definitely very buggy and glitchy right now, and since it's in beta, I really won't hold that against them. I'm sure most of the time, or most of the things that need to be fixed will definitely be fixed by the time the Google Plus is released. However, there's also some core functionality that is just flat out missing. So for example, there is no way to send messages, so private message, anything like that, it's just not there right now. And of course, technically, you could Gmail or use Gmail or email or something like that, but it's one extra step that you really shouldn't have to have. There should be some kind of messaging system, even if it's Gmail built into Google Plus. I think they really should do that. But on the whole of it, I am impressed with Google Plus. I definitely will be using it for quite a while. But I think one of the biggest things is just the people. If they can get the people on there and they can work out some of this core functionality, I absolutely will have no issues whatsoever recommending Google Plus to you guys.